Hey guys, it's your boy M.K.S here, back in another video. Obviously this is part 3 of my video for Festival of Dyslexic Culture. I hope they check it out, but I'm not sure if they will. If you are watching, thanks so much for checking out my video. And this video really is mainly for Festival of Dyslexic Culture, or the people who run it, but also for people who are either dyslexic or have families members who are dyslexic, or teachers or parents or whatever. Well, I suppose if they're parents, they'd have family members, but yeah, who are dyslexic, or teachers of dyslexics, or people who are just interested in dyslexia, or people who are charitable and want to support dyslexics, or want to support a struggling YouTuber, or whatever. But yeah, so that's mainly what this video is for. Again, or people who with an interest in, who have an interest in dyslexia. I suppose is mainly who the target market is. But anyway, I hope you enjoy the video all the same, and I hope as many people as possible watch it. And like, if I make any money from these videos, I'll try and donate it to helping those in Africa and Asia, Africa, Island and Asia, or across Africa, Island and Asia, who have dyslexia, to set up their own businesses or projects, generally, especially businesses or whatever other projects they want to work on, and creative projects. So yeah, with that intro being out of the way, I forgot to say, please check out parts 1 and 2 if you haven't already done so. Yeah, so I hope that intro made sense, and here goes. So as I say, I often do these 3-part videos where I talk about some of the lists of ideas. So here goes. So I didn't quite get around to finishing this on Friday, so it's actually a Monday now, so for those who are watching in the future. So yes, Monday the 4th. I didn't get to finish it on the 1st, so I'm continuing on from that. Anyway, sorry if I'm waffling. So number 21, I would love to find out, like, I'd love to network with other people talking about the history of dyslexia. Older people, I'm fairly old myself, I'm 39, but other people with who are older, even older than myself, or people my age, perhaps maybe even some who are a bit younger than me, but people who are a bit more older than, say, than teenagers, talking about our experiences of basically adults with dyslexia, talking about how we were treated with dyslexia and our personal experiences. Like, for me, school wasn't too bad, but for other dyslexic people, although I wasn't that good at it, but it wasn't as much torture as it is for some dyslexic people. And some people with dyslexia are really treated badly at school, but they've gone on to do a lot of great stuff. Whereas I found a few teachers who were a bit strict. Maybe they didn't understand dyslexia or know what dyslexia is, and they used to shout. Obviously, I say obviously, but in my day they didn't have the cane. So when I was at school, so for other people, it'd be interesting to hear their experiences about dyslexia, about how it was when they had the cane, or whether teachers said things either directly or in an indirect way, talking about, like, calling them thick or lazy or whatever, unfortunately. And yeah, so it'd be interesting to hear other different dyslexic people's experiences through history, and how dyslexia was perceived in history, and how times have moved on as well. So yeah, how things have changed, but yeah, how dyslexic people were treated, and that sort of thing. Number 22, it would be great to also see how dyslexia is treated now, how young people with dyslexia could talk about what school is like for them now, what help they get, if any, how much teachers know about dyslexia, and what people would like them to know. I forgot to say in point 21, ironically, I think there's some great, I know I mentioned these before, but there's some great resources to check out. So Made by Dyslexia, the Dyslexic Advantage on YouTube as well. They're made from a book, but they've made it into they had a conference which they recorded onto YouTube. I think it's an excellent conference. It really gave me a lot of confidence as well, from that conference or event, or whatever you call it, where they in America. And I think it'd be great to see Asian. Before COVID, I had this goal, and probably in the future, maybe if at all possible, although I'm a bit paranoid about the vaccine and all that, but on a side note, but yeah, I would love to somehow travel, especially if I can get like a dyslexic group to travel to a lot of Asian and African nations and Ireland as well, and talk about dyslexia, including possibly, if we could, bring along with us like entrepreneurs, filmmakers, directors, producers, actors, actresses, famous and successful, financially successful dyslexics, to talk about what they did and how they overcame problems at school. So but yeah, Made by Dyslexic, the Dyslexic Advantage had a great conference in America itself, in different parts of America. I don't know which parts of America they were in, but I think they were maybe in different parts of America, or maybe in 1 or 2 parts, but maybe in just one area. But they had some greatly inspirational dyslexics who have done really well and maybe everyone's great in their own way, but they had some people who have done really well, and they were talking about their experiences at school and how it was difficult for many of them and the challenges they've had. Like one person, a dyslexic entrepreneur, even said how the greatest thing he's ever overcome, believe it or not, is dyslexia. So, and he's like done so many great things in his business, and he's I think he's an Olympic or former Olympic swimmer. So yeah, the Dyslexic Advantage is definitely worth checking out. I'll probably put it in the tag it in the tag section. But yeah, so the Dyslexic Advantage is a great channel on YouTube, and it's a great book. Apparently, I haven't read it, but I've heard it's a great book. It's highly recommended. But because I don't really like to read that much, not that I can't read, but I don't like to read that much. I actually looked on their, I watched their videos, and I thought they were great. But even if you type in Google like famous dyslexics or things like that, you find a lot. And then Made by Dyslexia, Understood, The Underdog. I think the channel's called Underdog or The Underdog or something like that. I think they're a really good channel. So there's some great resources. Again, I'll probably put them in the comment section or tag them in the description as well, and that sort of thing. So yeah, they're worth checking out and like looking at what dyslexia will be like in the future. Like one venture capitalist was saying, who with dyslexia, he was saying about how I think because it's genetic, so a lot of people who have dyslexia will have kids with either dyslexia or related conditions or related learning disabilities, basically. But he was talking about how he's thinking that time it will be different for his daughters or growing up because they will have there'll be much more awareness and there'll be much more awareness and knowledge, so that they will get help. Perhaps, or they're more likely to get the help that they need. But I think I spent not time on that point, so as I often say, I don't want the video to be too long, so I'm going to move on. But yeah, so I think the future is probably going to be brighter, hopefully. I think it'd be great if we had our own independent schools, which would be like sponsored by more prominent dyslexics who like people give what they can to those schools, and like, but they'll be available for as many people with learning disabilities like autism and dyslexia and A.D.H.D as possible. But that's one of my ideas. As ever, please feel free to disagree if you do. 23, I would love to fundraise for projects to do with dyslexic people around the world, especially in developing countries or colonized countries, Africa or colonized countries such as parts of Africa and Asia, Kenya, India, and all sorts of places like that. And again, Ireland, because they were colonized. As an anti-imperialist, I would especially love to support, as I say, entrepreneurs from those countries and things that will benefit dyslexics, especially in those countries, but also in the UK and America and Europe and around the world as well, but especially, I'll say, in developing or emerging countries, and spread as much awareness as possible. Number 24, again, I think it'd be great for international awareness of dyslexia and different all the different dyslexic groups I've talked about, like the Festival of Dyslexic Culture, Made by Dyslexia, Dyslexic Advantage, and others, to all come together, network together, and share ideas and resources and info and things like that, and share like fundraising ideas and that sort of thing. And number 25, I was going to cover a few more points, but I think or more information, more ideas on point number 23, but I think I'll cover them on Friday, all being well, because this video's gone quite long, so I didn't want it to be too long, so I did waffle a bit in the intro. So yeah, so again, it would be great. I'd especially love to support like dyslexic from Republican countries, like, as I say, like Ireland and Italy and football and across Africa and Asia and places like that. Number 26. I think it'd be great to hear dyslexic people's ideas about reparations and what dyslexic people think about reparations and whether they think they're a good idea or not, and we can debate. And one of the things about dyslexia, a lot of dyslexic people are quite good at things like seeing both sides of an argument and things like that. And I think that's something we're quite strong at, as well as creativity and things like that. But yeah, I think it would be great to see dyslexic people do well, and also like reparate countries that were colonized perhaps and things like that. Number 27, I think it'd be great to acknowledge people who have supported dyslexia and worked well with dyslexic people, and have like a shout out and a mention in the future. Again, I don't want this video to be too long, but maybe in the future I could do like a video about people who have contributed to neurodiversity awareness and have empowered people with autism and dyslexia and A.D.H.D. People like Temple Grandin, who has supported autistic people, and people like Ben Foss, Harvey, Hubbel, and other people like that. Again, I might mention them in the tags as well. Number 28, again, I think it would be great if there was a change in perception of dyslexics, so that people didn't see us as just being weak or just having problems, but also learn about more of the positive side, like the creativity, innovation, ideas, dyslexic business people, famous dyslexics, people like Richard Branson and Jamie Oliver and people like that. I think it'd be great for more people to find out about. Some people say they became successful not in spite of the dyslexia, but even because of it. Number 29, I think it'd be great to have like a project to do with, I know the Yale Center for Dyslexia and Creativity and possibly others as well also do some, have also done stuff on this. But like for people of color with dyslexia or neurodiverse conditions, so basically multicultural dyslexia. Again, the Yale Center for Dyslexia and Creativity, shout out to them. They've done some great work on that, as well as other areas. And number 30, again, in the future, I hope to talk about more ideas like a network for dyslexic billionaires, which I mentioned briefly before. And also, dreams like supporting people across Africa and Asia with dyslexia to become millionaires or billionaires even in the future, and like fundraising for them, and like how I'd love for people to invest in dyslexics like Berkshire, Hathaway, Cascade investments and companies like that, investment companies to invest in dyslexic entrepreneurs internationally, again, especially in developing countries. And sorry if this video was a bit too long, and thanks if you checked it out, and peace and love.